Welcome back. In this session, let us see how to build this Docker image from a Jenkins pipeline and how to run it from our CI/CD pipeline, Jenkins CI/CD pipeline.
I am Kumar and welcome to my channel on tech and tutorials.
So let us go to our github.com and this is our project for this course. So KSS7 CI/CD Jenkins, and this is having all the course related files and folders. Now I have created a branch in here, .NET Web App, you can see. So there are other branches as well, but for this session, .NET Web App is the branch in here, and you can select this one. And this is having all the files, and even this is also having this Docker file in here. It's named as Docker file only, and all the other informations it has got, and even the index inside the views folder and the home, which this index.cs.html. This is where I have updated files in here, updated the code in here. Now I have put in some information here in case if you want to try out in any of your Linux machines, you can actually do that. Okay, by the way, I have used Ubuntu 22. You can use other versions of Ubuntu as well if you want to. Okay, let us actually go to our Jenkins server and let me actually log in into this Jenkins server. So let us create our Jenkins job for building this .NET project. So new item, and let me actually name it as .NET Web App. Let's keep the name .NET Web App CI/CD I put, and then we select pipeline and click on OK. And in the job configuration, we come down here, and what we can do is actually we can just type in our pipeline in here. So let me actually take the pipeline and put it here first, and then let me explain to you about this pipeline. Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger and scroll this one down. It's a little bit more bigger. Okay, so this is the whole pipeline script, and actually this is one of our earlier pipeline. It's actually the same thing only. So here we are defining the agent here, and we are actually using a level master. That means it's going to run in this Jenkins server itself. It's not going to run on any agent. So it can run on any agent where a Docker is installed. So my Jenkins server is having a Docker installed, so I can run it in this master node itself. So even if you don't provide a level, also it is going to run in this Jenkins server. In case if you don't have any specific settings for running your Docker images and all, it's going to run in the same Jenkins server. So if you remember agent any, if you provide, it usually runs in the Jenkins server machine only. Okay, and then the environment related stuff which we have already seen earlier. So let me actually change this one. So .NET app, name it as .NET app, and actually let me correct the spelling. Okay, so .NET app, and the registry and the environment and build. We have already gone through this. This is the registry credential. I have commented it right now because we are not pushing this Docker image to our Docker hub. When you are going to push it, you can just uncomment this one, and you can add this stage for doing pushing to Docker hub. We can see that in the next session. Next thing, stage is about the checkout. We are checking out the code from github.com CI/CD Jenkins.git, and this is our branch .NET Web App. And as I was saying earlier, ls-l just to see that the file is getting downloaded. And this is our stopping the running container. For this one I have put in here. We have already talked about it, how this is done and all. We can stop the running container by the job name and all. Okay, so when we are running, we are using the job name, if you see here. So that's why we are able to stop using the job name. And then we are building the image, building our image using the Docker plugin docker.build, and the image name. Image name is getting from our environment variable in here. Okay, environment. And the next thing which we are doing is in the last stage for this pipeline, we are running this Docker image with the Docker command, Docker run, and the same thing only -d, and the name and the port 8081. I am running it on 8081 because Jenkins is running on my 8080 port. So I am running on my 8081 port for this Docker image. So that completes our whole pipeline, and this is pretty simple. So let us actually apply this one, and let us save this. Let us do the build now. Okay, so I initiated the build and it's actually started to build. So let us go to our console output and let us actually see what actually it is doing. So it looks like it was able to download the code from github.com. So it was a public repository, so it doesn't need any username and passwords and all settings. So it automatically downloaded everything. Let me scroll down. So it's going to, you're going to see some failures. First time it is running because there is no container running. If you remember in our pipeline, we were trying to stop that container for the existing running containers, running images in that server, in our Jenkins server. And if I scroll down and let me scroll down, looks like it is trying to build the image after downloading all the code. So this is what it is showing. So it's taking a little bit time because it's building for the first time. Okay, so looks like it already successfully built and tagged, it's showing. And then finally it is running our Docker image, and it's running on port 8081. So let us go to our server and to our port 8081. Okay, so this is our application server IP and port, and you can see our application running on that Jenkins server now. So actually that completes the whole thing. And by the way, you don't need the .NET SDK and all in that Jenkins server. You just need the Docker install on that agent, or wherever you are running this job, you just need the Docker agent. And in our case, it is able to run our image as well on that Jenkins server. So let us go back to our Jenkins and let us actually go to our homepage. Now you see all the pipeline related view in this homepage. Okay, cool. Now let us do one thing. Actually, let us go to our code base. So the code is in my local system, in my Windows system now. So from here, let us actually change something in the view, in the index.html, ch.html. So let me actually go to views, home, and index.ch.html. And let us actually change something, and then we'll try to build it again. So just to see that it is taking correctly. Okay, so what we should change. So let me put one exclamation after this welcome and learn about. And let me put a colon here after learn about. And then let us actually put some more stuffs in this, some more text in here. Jenkins CI/CD pipeline, and let me put DevOps. And building .NET web apps, and web app, let us make it as one word, web apps with Docker Jenkins. Okay, so that's all. Let us see this change. So let me actually save this file, and then let us do a git status here, and we have to do a git add. We'll do a git add dot, and then we'll do a git commit -m updated index HTML, and then we'll do a git push origin .NET web app. Okay, let us hit enter, and it got pushed to our github.com. So let us go to our github.com, and let me actually refresh this page. You should see that .NET web app has pushed us less than a minute ago. So let's go back to our Jenkins server, and then let us try to run this project again. Okay, now when it is running, let us go to our console, our applications console, and let me refresh this one. And I have put an, okay, so it has stopped our existing application. Okay, that's good. So let us go back to our Jenkins, and looks like it is running. So let's see the console output. Click on the build number and the console output, and you should see this project is still running in here. Okay, looks like it is running now. Docker run, you can see it here, and the status, you can see the finished success. And let us go back to our console for our application, and then let's do a refresh, and you can see the welcome and the exclamation mark, and then learn about, and you can see the column here, and Jenkins CI/CD pipeline DevOps, which I have put, and then .NET web -apps. You can see the changes in here in our console in this index.ch.html. So that's about it. That's how you build this application from a Jenkins using our CI/CD pipeline. Okay, I'm going to push this pipeline into the GitHub, and you will see that pipeline in our GitHub for that repository. Okay, so that's all in this session. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next.